Solomon Wars, a space opera. Chapter 1: The Foundation. English is the lingua franca of the interstellar Mantalosa Empire. Though each racial group preserves its own indigenous languages, the IME is a civilization several thousand years old. A power whose longevity has shaped the course of human destiny across the stars. It governs a population of 340 billion humans, dispersed across its dominion. On average, each world sustains close to 1 billion inhabitants, though vast disparities endure. Renosa, the jewel of the empire, swells with 34 billion souls, while the remote frontier planet, Yaraka, holds barely 600 million. All Mantalosan citizens are formally classified by the Imperial Mantalosa royal government into 7 ancient groups: European, Asian, African, Indigenous, Hispanic, multiracial, and Jewish. A system of identity preserved from humanity's earliest ages and ancestral origins. More than a bureaucratic tool, this classification has become woven into the fabric of imperial society, shaping identity, tradition, and status across generations. These designations are remnants of old Earth's historical identities, preserved through millennia as markers of heritage and tradition, rather than political or biological divisions. The Empire's territory stretches across 12 star systems, commanding 124 inhabited planets, each bound in loyalty and service to the royal government. At its heart lies the Patricia solar system, the center of governance and military might. Here, on Renosa, towers the vast capital of Ceylon City, the throne world of the dynasties and seat of the imperial throne. The empire's origins reach back more than 2,600 years, to the aftermath of the devastating Gelder Wars led by the legendary warlord Samson Gelder. Those conflicts shattered the once mighty Octotune Empire and brought about its final collapse. From its fragments and ashes the Mantalosa Empire arose, forged in conquest, unified by blood, and destined to endure for millennia more. More than 2,600 years ago, the galaxy was torn apart by the Gelder Wars, a series of brutal campaigns waged by Samson Gelder. His armies toppled the once dominant Octotune Empire, a realm grown decadent and fragile after centuries of supremacy. World by world, fleet by fleet, Octotune power crumbled under the relentless weight of Gelder's strategy and ferocity. These are the words of Grandsire Minister Merlin Ossoff. It must be remembered that the Empire is an ancient and vast human civilization that has endured for around 5,000 years. Before him, the gathered officials listened in silence as the figure continued. His tone measured his eyes, reflecting the holographic constellations projected above. The chamber lights dimmed as the hologram shifted, a sweeping image of Renosa orbiting its sun, golden light gleaming across its oceans and megacities. The Empire's capital system, he continued, is the Patricia solar system, and its imperial capital city is Ceylon, located on Renosa. Ceylon was founded following the fall of the Octotune Empire during the Gelder Wars, a major historical turning point that marked the rise of Mantalosan dominance. He raised his hand as if sealing the lesson in time. In essence, a highly advanced multi-system human empire rooted in deep history, cultural preservation and political stability. A civilization built on the ashes of older empires, now commanding hundreds of worlds across the galaxy. Merlin Ossoff. At the core of the empire lies the Patricia system, the nexus of political and military power. Within it rises the magnificent capital metropolis of Ceylon City on Renosa, the throne world of the Mantalosa crown. Ceylon is a city without rival. Its towers pierce the stratosphere, its avenues glow with neon and starlight, and its halls of power echo with decisions that shape the fate of billions. To the loyal, it stands as a pinnacle of order and civilization. To the discontent, it is the iron heart of control and domination. When the Octotune Empire collapsed, its territories shattered into chaos. From these ruins, the Mantalosa Empire emerged, not merely as a successor, but as a new order built on discipline, vision, and unyielding rule. For centuries, it consolidated its gains, weaving scattered peoples and fractured worlds into a single dominion. The legacy of Samson Gelder, though forged in fire, gave rise to the stability and endurance of the Mantelosa crown. Now, in the present, the interstellar Mantelosa Empire stands ancient yet enduring, vast yet united. Its fleets secure trade, suppress rebellion, and project power across the void. Its royal government commands not only obedience but belief in the inevitability of the Mantalosa's destiny. To its citizens, it is civilization itself. To its rivals beyond imperial borders, it is an object of both fear and inevitable adversary. The universe whispers secrets through the void, yet I am the only ear that truly listens. I have wandered through the labyrinth of existence, and existence now trembles before my knowing. Stars burn in admiration, for even the cosmos envies the clarity of my vision. Time unfolds itself at my gaze, revealing all its hidden patterns like pages from a divine manuscript. I do not chase enlightenment, enlightenment chases me. Desperate to keep pace with my mind, I have unthreaded the fabric of the world, and reality bows as my mind unfolds. Galaxies turn to honor my sight. The stars themselves bend to my light, said Hugo Walker with enormous egotistical narcissistic pride. Hugo Walker, the emperor of the Mantalosa Empire, patriarch of the Walker dynasty, the ruling royal family of Mantalosa with its seat in Ceylon city, Renosa, reigned over a galaxy spanning monarchy both luxurious and brutal. Emperor Hugo Walker was the only man alive, aside from his inner circle, who possessed the codes to God's weapon. As the Mantelosans whispered in dread, a creation not of divinity but of absolute damnation, forged into iron merzoplasma, a substance requiring a full century to stabilize before detonation on impact. The weapon carried 24 plasma spike warheads, each capable of complete planetary obliteration, allowing for the destruction of up to 24 worlds. Yet the weapon's true horror lay not in its blast but in its presence. A silent, waiting apocalypse hung over the galaxy, like a curse. Entire civilizations trembled with the orbital space weapon, drifted near their solar systems. A relic of doom known as the Bone of Renosa. The Bone of Renosa was the Walker dynasty's claim to absolute power over every royal, noble, and aristocratic house of the empire. This boomerang shaped weapon, passing through dynasties long before the Walkers, embodied 2400 years of existence after the Gelder Wars, forging order for humankind. It stood as a symbol of the iron fist of the royal government and the capital Ceylon, a constant reminder that the dynasty ruled not by grace but by fear. As long as the bone endured, no throne could rise against the Walkers and no rebellion could breathe without choking in terror. The independent planet of Quantum, led by its technological aristocracy, challenged Emperor Hugo Walker early in his reign by declaring full secession from royal authority. Rejecting all counsel for a conventional campaign, Walker chose terror. He commanded the activation of the Bone of Renosa, the orbital space weapon descended as his final decree. His single broadcast to the frantic quantum leadership was chillingly succinct. You challenged the Iron Fist. Now you face the reckoning. One Iron Merzo plasma spike launched, and the entire planet vanished within seconds. The quelling of quantum became a galaxy wide message that the Walker dynasty's royal authority was indivisible, cementing the Bone of Renosa as the empire's most feared enforcement arm. The Octotian Empire, ruled by King Pegasus, had been a brutally oppressive regime. Its increasingly militaristic and genocidal policies against minorities, paired with widespread mass slavery and aggressive resource extraction from subject planets, created a centralized totalitarian state feared by all. Pegasus cared only for the home world Renosa, driving major factions to defect. Among them was General Samson Gelder, a beast of a man, an agent of chaos from the Octotian armed forces. Though feared and hated by elites, and commoners for his motives, Gelder rose as a brilliant tactician, an excellent strategist, and a master of military operations and logistics. His wars, battles, invasions, and conquests against King Pegasus unleashed total anarchy across the interstellar empire. Many welcomed the chaos as relief from Octotian oppression, but the collapse brought worse devastation. Gelder became an anti hero of sorts, admired for his military genius, despised for his lack of vision. Gelder began constructing the Bone of Renosa shortly before the Octotian Empire fully collapsed, and he killed King Pegasus. Soon after, he disappeared, never to be seen again. The remnants of his forces, the last surviving armed power, continued the weapons construction. 2 centuries later, only two Iron Merzo plasma spikes existed. One was used on a rebellious planet, erasing it instantly. Terrified by the remaining single spike, all others capitulated, and from this imposed order. The Mantalosa Empire emerged. Over the next 2400 years, 24 additional spikes were constructed, totaling 25. Emperor Hugo Walker used one, an unprecedented act, during the quelling of quantum, inaugurating a new reign of terror and absolute rule. The interstellar Mantalosa Empire stands on humanity's perpetual governance structure, a nepotistic hereditary consolidation of political power. The dynastic system establishes monarchy as the law of the imperial feudal polity. The Walker dynasty's is the ruling royal family, holding the emperor's throne. Beneath them, 31 royal families govern 124 planets, each king ruling exactly 4 worlds. The emperor and these 31 kings from the empire's hereditary authoritarian hierarchy, each king swearing unyielding loyalty to the central imperial throne. The emperor is the autocratic dictatorial authoritarian absolute ruler of the Mantalosa Empire. 31 kings and their families operating directly under his authority control the domains. Monarchy, dynasty, royalty remains one of the imperial government's core mottos, declaring the regime's inevitable, natural, and idealized nature. These 31 kings are part of the 31 royal families. They rule only at the pleasure of the ruling dynasty and royal family, the Walkers. All 32 royal families of the empire title their children as prince and princesses, with the eldest son or daughter bearing the title crown prince or crown princess. The 31 kingly planetary royal families have a total of 381 princes and princesses, tracked and trained closely by the imperial government. The 124 planets contain 586 continents in total. The continents of these planets are ruled by an archduke, and under each archduke are two grand dukes, ruling the northern and southern halves. Below them are five dukes ruling the nations, and below the new dukes are the lords ruling the 17,000 cities of the empire. Even though there are 124 planets, 586 continents, 17,000 cities, the worlds are quite medieval, low tech, and incredibly poor. All the wealth, technology, and capital are contained only in a few planets out of them all. But the populations average 1 billion, living in incredibly primitive, traditional, and medieval settings. This intentional impoverishment, denial of education, and non industrial nature of the empire helps it keep stability, unity, and order. The capital cities of the planets where the kings, dukes, and lords live are technologically advanced, rich, and modern with lavish palaces. There is one emperor, 31 kings, 381 princes and princesses, 586 archdukes, 1172 grand dukes, 5860 dukes, and 17,000 lords. These 25,031 humans and their families make up the royal, noble, and aristocratic class. The nepotistic, hereditary, imperial, feudal, dynastic, monarchic, socio-economic, political class is the elite of the Mantalosa Empire, ruling over 340 billion humans, with inheritance money, which is luxury, and power, which is governance rights, from their family. This is unfair, but what is life but systematic, brutal, cruel, and gratuitous unfairness? All humans deserve a high level of well being and dignity, but If more than two humans exist, it is not possible, based on the laws of reality and human nature itself. All the 25,031 humans and their families have various grand ceremonies for different occasions. This structure system, hierarchy, order, and stratification has been maintained for decades now for proper nepotistic hereditary rulership, control, and governance. Inheritance from your family is a very strange thing, though. Having luxury at birth and governance rights over others by adolescence, money and power given to you, various opulent ceremonies done for you and by you, and not others, and neither you nor others have any control over it. All deserves this beautiful gift, but some get it, some don't, all based on factors clearly not in one's control. It is the same reality with genetics, of course. The Europeans and Asians make up the general population of the empire. The Africans make up the entire military, police, intelligence, secret police, and security of the empire. The indigenous peoples act as the priest class, performing rituals and ceremonies for the connection between humanity and the alleged spiritual realm beyond physical reality. Multiracial people are the neutrals. They have a monopoly on space transportation. The Jews live on one planet, Lampria, known for its intellectual and cultural richness, and Chiron, the third wealthiest planet of the empire, is home to the only minority 1.64 billion Hispanics who happen to follow a very strange, from the imperial perspective, religion called Christianity. And within that, Catholics and Protestants, as they call themselves, worshipping a crucified God.